When I was young and in elementary school, the community was becoming integrated. But back then, the community had more businesses back then because there were others who lived amongst us. With them leaving, then you have seen the degradation of the community. And this community is not very viable. Economically, it is deprived and quite destined. Although we love our community, we love being one of the quadrants of the city, it's not as viable as other quadrants of the city, and we would like to see economic growth here and contribute to it ourselves.
So with this very plan that you've shared with me, the overarching idea is that it will be revitalizing. Are you confident in what the commissioner wants to do?
I am confident that elected officials want to do things. What we have not seen in probably 60 or 70 years in this area, that the decision makers, the brokers, the policy makers, those, Eric Walsh, and he just came on, but Eric Walsh and Judge Sakai, we would really like to get their attention and sit down and talk with them, make alliances with others in the city. We in this community are very interested. We live, eat, and breathe San Antonio just like everyone else does. We love this city. We just want to see that our community is as viable and economically vibrant and as aesthetically beautiful as any other area. And if you notice, you will see from the SBC Center to the AT&T Center to now the Frost Bank Center, people have come in and out of this very part of town going to Spurs games, and they spent all of their dollars inside of that building. When they leave, they're directed out by the cones and by the traffic cops to get back on the interstates to take their monies elsewhere. Even if they wanted to stop in the area, where would they stop and eat? They can't even stop and really buy gas because there are no businesses here, and that makes San Antonio a very imbalanced city. And if you have other quadrants that are viable and this quadrant is desolate, then that's a lopsided city view. And so that's why we would like for the city to consider us, because we want to contribute and make San Antonio just as beautiful in this area as it is anywhere else.
And as a citizen of the East Side, do you feel forgotten about in a sense?
I wouldn't say forgotten about. I would specifically say planned out.
And so with this plan, we've spoken with Commissioner Calvert. He's mentioned bringing things like an A&M school for, I believe it's like veterinary school, and things that will help with some of the animals and bringing people over to this area. But as someone who knows this community inside and out, what would you like to see?
I think, let me just say, first of all, I think our elected officials like Commissioner Calvert and City Councilman Jalen McKee Rodriguez, I think they do a good job of trying to plan for this area, but they're not the ultimate decision makers. They're people that control the dollars and the politics that happen, and so therefore they can be left out of conversations and meetings as well. They mean to do well by us, but we're not sure what the city means to do in this community, because like I said, there has been 60 or 70 years of evidence that this community has been left out. So like I said, no matter what individually we like to see, collectively we want this part of town to become economically viable, and we want to contribute to it, and we want to see that it becomes beautiful. We want to see activity in this area. We want to see cycling. We want to see all kinds of businesses come. Right now there's nowhere to go eat, there's nowhere to go drink, there's nowhere to stop and have fun, and so that leaves this place very empty and very void.
I know that they had 2 different community input meetings. Do you feel that the community was heard when they shared some of their voices and their opinions?
Absolutely, because it's all documented in a report that Commissioner Calvert put out, and so all comments are in there, and there were 2 different meetings, and so all the speakers are cataloged in there, and they did hear and they listened to what every speaker had to say, and they documented it.
And when we were on the phone before we even did this interview, you mentioned that this area has already lost a lot. We're standing directly in front of an exact example of that. what are your concerns going forward if this plan doesn't work the way that they intended to?
That is a very good point. Our neighborhood association used to meet here, and SAISD has closed this campus, and we're still struggling right now to try to find a location. There's another campus that we've been trying to contact to meet at, and we're struggling with communicating with them to try to get it, and we're hopefully that we will get it. But one of the things that we're concerned about is the same thing that we've spoken at those town hall meetings. We've been wined and dined, we've been talked to, we've been able to express a lot of our interests. But over the years, between the SBC Center, the AT&T Center, and now the Frostbank Center, we've never seen this area grow and develop, and those things that we've expressed that we wanted materialize. So if you keep whining and dining and dating the same person over and over and over, and then that person gets ignored, they never get invited to the dance, they never get invited to the important aspects of contributing to their community, what would they think they're being wined and dined for? And what do they think is really going to happen in the city after it's been demonstrated so many times? We heard you, but we don't see you.
Ms. Cassandra, it seems like you spend a lot of time reading and making sure that you have a full understanding. Not everybody has done the same. So speaking directly to those people, what would you say to people who don't understand what's going on as well as you do?
Pay attention and don't lose heart. Reach out to Judge Peter Sakai, reach out to Eric Walsh, reach out to your elected officials, and become involved. Don't lose heart, because this is our community. We live here just like anybody else. Go to other quadrants of the city and see how economically viable they are. Look and see, then come back and compare. Use that as evidence to show the differences, but don't lose heart and always engage in communications, because others need to know how we feel, and we need to hear what they have to say with us, to us. But in addition to what they say, we need to see what they do, because one thing my grandmother always used to say, actions speak louder than words.
Is there anything else you want to say or add that I haven't already asked you?
No, we just look forward to seeing what's going to happen in our community, because we're definitely going to speak up. Collectively, we do have a voice, and we do trust that we will be heard. We just need to see that it's demonstrated that we will get something happening in our community that's important to make our city more viable in this area.